the about this right now because it's still a lot of what ifs. We can't really talk about it until these guys actually start playing. But when I look at this conference, man, it's a wide open conference, man. I mean, there's not really a for sure favorite, in my opinion, in this conference. Now, a lot of experts think Arizona State, Kansas State are the two front runners. But I can see a team like Utah, who's coached very well under Kyle Williams. People forget Cam Rising coming back for like the seventh or eighth season. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna be back in the fold. Um, and then you got people raving about Texas Tech this year in the Big 12, saying that they could be a sleeper team with all the transfer guys they got to, with all the guys they got coming back. So they saying that Texas Tech could be a team. Hell, even Baylor. I mean, how they started the season off last year, finished off strong, kind of like a Florida, but not as Florida how Florida did. And they could be. So, I'm not really going to talk about Coach Prime and all that because I think he got a whole set of issues dealing with health. Hopefully, his health is stay good the whole season. And he got all his main guys left this year, last year for the draft. So I don't think Colorado they can just even be bowl eligible. I think will be a success for Deion this year. But Greg, what's your thoughts on the Big 12?
Um, Man, you brought up Cam Rising, like, man, and like year after year, man, I have high expectations for Utah because of Cam Rising, because I think he's a good college quarterback. I think he was one of those players that he could have actually won the Big 12 for them. But it's every year it's the same thing, issues with him staying on the field. So I don't even know how to look at that with Utah right now. You get what I'm saying? Um, the Big 12 is always a wide open conference. It's like, and I would say like, man, pretty much like Colorado pretty much brought the excitement to the Big 12. You know what I'm
Yeah, they
saying?
do.
Because growing up, most of us was you had a lot of us that was Deion fans. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so that pretty much brought the excitement there after schools like Texas left, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, it's like, man, you don't have, it's nothing consistent over there to look at because these guys are constantly moving and you have the transfer portal. But I think that you can start looking at schools like UCF because of Scott, like you just mentioned, Scott Frost. And we know that, man, when you got players, man, in the state, it's a lot of speed. And we know that when you look at the Big 12 is structured, it's a lot of scoring, it's a lot of fast pace. So it's a lot of speed over there. You get what I'm saying? And when you got and that's right up Florida alley. You know what I'm saying? The state of
Right.
Florida, that's right up our alley, when you're talking about for speed. You know, it's not a lot of power football over there. So I think that would benefit a school like UCF, you know what I'm saying, having those Florida boys over there playing. Not saying that you don't have it in Texas. You get what I'm saying? Because we done seen it with schools like Texas Tech. But I think one of the big things is over there, we done seen what Scott Frost was able to do at a program like UCF. And
Right.
I think that would benefit him being back at UCF.
Okay.
He's
Now I do
he's
got.
one of those
I
schools. He's one of those. So UCF is one of those schools that I'm watching out for over there in the Big 12.
Okay. And I want to see what Scott Frost do as well coming back because he didn't have a successful stint at Nebraska. It didn't work out there, and I thought just Nebraska, man, it was. I don't think it was a good fit. I think what he was trying to do there, but I do think he can have success. He had success there. He did bring them they on the undefeated season there, the year that we thought they were saying it was the controversial year. So
Right.
I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, man. I'm interested to see how UCL finish. But let's talk about Coach Prime for a minute, man, and his thoughts on what he said at the Big 12 press conference. For me, man, I think going into year three, man, I really want to see they got this is gonna be their first time me watching Coach Prime, and he's gonna open up against an ACC opponent, a team from the South in Georgia Tech. I think this is a good opponent for Coach Prime in the first game of the season. This is gonna say a lot about this Colorado team, man, going into that first game. And Coach Prime, he made his little comments about, hey man, they need to put a cap or, it's not fair, the NIL, man. But I just think that, this is what you guys wanted, man. I mean, player empowerment. Think you was part of that movement of player empowerment and getting these guys paid. Son, Travis Hunter, everybody, NIL and everything like that. So I think this is a product of it. You got to deal with it now.
I think it's more so like when he made that comment, it wasn't for to more so with the elite guys, but the guys that's like low tier guys that getting paid a lot of money. Like we're just talking about with Carson Beck. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
And I didn't look at it like that, you know what I'm saying? But you do make a great point of that's how he might have been looking at it. And I just think that, uh, you know, when you getting to paying these players and things like that, you know, now you open up Pandora's box, and I think when you
Oh,
look
of
at the
course.
NCAA now, is how do you manage it now? They have passed rules and things like that where they're trying to like centralize it, but it's still in courts. I don't think nothing is really finalized yet. It's still going through the legal process. But yeah, I understand what Deion coming at if he coming at from that angle, but expectations for year three grade of Colorado. What do you think? You think he can make it to a bowl game this year?
I would say this right. They did end up getting a top tier quarterback, right? You get what I'm saying? But they lost a lot. We always have to take that in consideration. Now I also got to look at what he was able to do year one with the players he had. You get what I'm saying? I
Right.
mean, they was up 1 minute, then they went down. And I think, man, due to being in the Big 12, I think they can still be bowl eligible. But I also got to look at the fact that they lost their whole receiving core. They lost their
Right.
quarterback. You know, that's going to take a knock. You know, I don't care how good a coach is, but when you lose talent on that type of talent, it's going to take a toll on your program. You get what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
So, so now not knowing the type of players that you're bringing in, that's going to leave question marks. Somebody said this though, man, and it made sense to me. They say that, man, it's a good thing that Shador leaving Colorado because they feel as though that you're going to see a better version of Deion now that he's not coaching his son. And it's the same with Shador. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I actually agree with that.
yeah, and I say, well, dang, it made sense. You get what I'm saying? I think that's possible. You get what I'm saying? It's like they saying that because whether we're conscious of it or not, and this is what they was basically what they were saying, and that whether we're conscious of it or not, that having a son that on the field or it's like having a relative in business. Sometimes that can be a handicap. You know,
Hmm.
sometimes it can be a bias there. Sometimes it can be you can tend to get stagnant or what things of that nature. Me, if I and because we want to see, the people that we love, that we know we growed up and watched, that relatives, we want to see them do good. Sometimes it may not be the case or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
agree.
so we're looking at that situation. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Colorado moving forward.
Yeah, man. And I don't think they sold on the quarterback yet. I heard they still got a quarterback battle between Caden Salters, the cat that graduated, that transferred from Liberty.
Right.
And then you got the quarterback they brought in. What's the dude from California that they brought in? He was a top quarterback.
One of the top recruits.
He was
Right.
one of the top recruits. I forget his name, but yeah. So they still battling. I think the biggest hole, like you said, is at the skill position, man. And can this quarterback group, who they can they get a quarterback and figure out that they're leaning towards the freshman starting, but I mean, even if you have Kate Salters coming in, he coming in from what? Conference USA. Can he come in and be a quarterback and play power four, power five ball? I don't know. Defensively, I think that's what's going to be their strong point this year. Honestly, with the
Colorado.
defensive head, the guy they had, defensive coordinator, they didn't lose him. He stayed. I think their defense is going to be a lot better this year, and I think that's what's going to be the tipping point for this team. Like they're going to lean on their defense more this year. Last year it was the offense. You get what I'm saying? There was an offensive led team. You know what I'm saying? Shador, Travis Hunter. That's what kept them in games. But I think this year it's going to be the other way around. I think the defense is going to be the one that's going to be keeping them in games.